Tab completion provides a very helpful shortcut when typing out commands in Linux. The more keystrokes you can save when working from a command line interface, the faster you can be at system administration tasks. Enter the tab completion concept. By using the tab key, you can attempt to automatically allow the operating system to complete words or commands that you're typing out. This is helpful throughout the entire operating system when forming many commands or interacting with files in any given circumstance. You can see an illustration here which tries to describe the behavior of tab completion. Tab completion is more of a time saver than anything, and it is always acceptable to type out these commands. However, you get several main values from learning how to use tab completion. The first value is that tab completion will automatically properly spell commands or entries you're trying to complete. This eliminates an opportunity for you to make typos and errors in the commands you're typing. Especially challenging when you're using or working with long file paths or file names. The second thing tab completion can show you is the options that it has available to it given the first few characters you've typed. In this example, we see that typing PAS and tapping tab key twice will list out all the commands available to you that begin with the first three letters PAS. If we then supply another letter S, we've eliminated the additional options, and by pressing the tab key once, will be auto-completed to the passwd command. We can then proceed with a password change interaction. To sum that up, if you were to press the tab key once and an automatic completion cannot be found, pressing the tab key a second time will list out the possible options the operating system has available. When you have a unique match when pressing the tab key, the operating system will automatically complete that word. Let me show that from the command line as well. Using that same example, I can type PAS and press tab. By pressing it once, nothing has occurred, but pressing it again shows me those three options. By simply supplying one more letter, in this case, I'll say T, and pressing tab one time, I complete the only match that starts with PAST, in this case, the paste command. The same concept is also helpful when working with file names. We've continually worked with the etc password file, so let's take a look at what our options are when we try that. I'll use the cat command to simply provide a command that then takes an argument of a file name. If I type /etc and supply no other letters, the directory contains many files. In this case, more than you may want to display on the screen. If you did want to display them, you're given the option to present those by typing Y for yes or N for no. If I say yes, they're listed out. In this case, more than fit on the screen, and by pressing spacebar, I can continue to see those options. I'll continue to press spacebar until I've run out of all my options. Now I'm returned back to my prompt where I was typing out my command. I know that my etc password file starts with P, so I'll type a P and press tab. It doesn't auto-complete, so pressing tab again will list out all of the matches that begin with P. We can see the list is narrowing. If I type AS and hit tab, it automatically completes the etc password. In our next section, we'll take a look at how to continue long commands on another line. As you learn and grow your repertoire of commands, you'll learn that many commands take a long list of options and arguments to properly form their work. When you consider that you can string multiple of these commands together, you can see how the entries could end up running longer than a single line. To cleanly enter commands across multiple lines, there's some easy techniques in Linux to allow you to do exactly that. We utilize the / character in order to tell the terminal that we are continuing our command on the next line. This continuation command allows us to take as many lines as necessary to cleanly enter our command in a legible form for us to read, while also continuing to take up as many lines as necessary to complete the work. You can see an example of this in the box below. Here we're using our continuation command, the / at the end of each of these lines. This tells the terminal that these lines should be listed as a single long-running command. In this case, we're using the head command and asking for the top 3 lines of 2 different files. Let's give this a try. Head-n3 for the first 3 lines of. Let's use the / so we can continue the command on the next line, and we'll list our first file. We can hit the / command and the enter key, and we do not yet execute the work. Here, I'll go ahead and say etc password. Okay, and so that I can continue listing out additional files, I'll put a backslash, hit enter to go to the next line, and I'll list out the first 3 lines of another file, in this case, Etsy group. Just to recall tab completion, if I type GR and hit tab, there's many options. I can then further type GROU and it will autocomplete to Etsy group. Don't be confused by the tab completion output. It is not considered part of the command, although you're seeing it on your screen. Now that I'm ready to complete the command and execute it and receive that output, I can hit enter. We see that we get the first 3 lines of both of those files. That concludes our section on how to continue commands on another line.